Hello, I'm back from my break and I'm letting you know it was a good one, but I'm ready to kick some ass again and hopefully my plan worked. Anyway, so how many of you have heard of James Bond? He's kind of been around for your entire life. His first film started in 1963 and was a smash hit. I know him as that one, I know. But anyway, the movie, I've only seen the Casino Royale trailer on my copy of Talladega Nights. It's a good film, I'm gonna be honest. That film was good. Anyway, I have not seen Casino Royale. So anyway, in the 60s, games never existed because, well, have you seen what it took to get the moon landings back in the day? Anyway, it can be like load up a copy of Bond movie 8. I don't know how many there were. But in 1983, someone decided, well, I mean, there's still a bunch of Bond movies. Should we create some in games to tie into those movies? And they were like, that's a great idea, mate. So in 1982, 'Shaken But Not Stirred' was released, the first one. I thought, to tie into the movie, I'm not saying it, bro. Like, if I say it, you'll probably think it's some kind of... Look it up for yourself. You'll do it in your spare time, hopefully. Anyway, subscribe, like, share, comment, do what you want. Right, there we go. So 1984, from around the 80s to the 90s, there was still a bunch of Bond games, but none of them were very memorable until 1997's Goldeneye, the game I'm playing for this video. A lot of people loved it because, I don't know, maybe it just had aura. Later that day, so the next year, 98, they decided to release, of course, James Bond for the Game Boy. And Nintendo was like, oi, we should try to make this a franchise. But Activision and EA, two of the biggest titans of the industry, or titans, renamed to tyrants, of the industry, decided, oh no, we want him. So their infinite wisdom decided to go in a bidding war, and in 1999, EA won and decided, to release Tomorrow Never Dies, which was a tie into the film, which came out the same year as Goldeneye, the game. Then it sold well, but I'm not sure about the reviews because I didn't look it up. Then in 2000, the next year, they were like, oh, we having a new millennium. So let's get a new Bond? Oh, I swear I did this correctly. No, I did this correctly. What the fuck? Huh. Oh, there it is. So since the new millennium was coming up, they were like, quick, we need a new game. So I released 2 games. So The World Is Not Enough for PS1 and N64, which were completely different for some weird reason. And 007 Racing, both of which I didn't hear much about. And people were like, well, what are you doing? So in 2001, EA was like, quick, we need the new generation of consoles is arriving. Let's create a new story. So Agent Under Fire released near the end of that year, and a lot of people were like, damn, this shit has aura. Like a lot of aura. Like, you drenched too much on it. So, they were like, want to see me do it again in 2002 with, let's go, I got an achievement. Yo, he's taking a shit. I'm on my lunch break. Then in 2002, they were like, want to see me do it again with Nightfire, which actually used Pierce Brosnan himself as Bond. And released the same year as a Bond film. Die Another Day this time. I thought this was Half-Life. Oh well. So that year, so 2003 started off and EA was like, oh shoot, you guys are developing a game? You know this Goldeneye game, we should do a reboot of that. So in 2004, Everything or Nothing released near the end of the start of the year, which was the last EA Bond game people talk about, and it's so decent, but people were like, oh, this is odd. But then later that year in November, you know, when Halo 2, one of the most anticipated games of that year, came out, the Goldeneye Rogue Agent release, which I don't care what you say, the soundtrack goes hard, but anyway. Most people weren't huge on this game. Like, it has a cult following, sure. But if you say your favourite 007 game is Rogue Agent, well, okay, this is the only 007 game I've ever played, so I shouldn't speak on that. You don't be surprised if some people start an argument with you. I'm not joking. I'm not. Never mind. This makes me sound like a massive prick. Anyway, so after GoldenEye Rogue Agent bombed and only sold around like 1 million, 1.5 mil. No, I keep fucking running. It's locked, so I need a key. Then 2005 hits, and the next Bond game from Russia with Love releases, developed by Visceral Games, who later went on to make Dead Space. Over here. And and it did not sell well, unfortunately, which, yeah, apparently within the first 3 months it only sold less than 300k units, which is, well, I found out where to go now. Which, that is not... Anyway. Frick. Alright, so 2005, so after From Russia with Love bombed, the game, not the movie, which, yeah. EA decided to sell the rights off to Activision, who were like, oh, now you want us? But they weren't done yet because they were developing a tie-in for Casino Royale, which was apparently pretty far along, but development got canned, so they decided, forget who we ballin'. Then the next, so from, and who did Activision ask to create a new 007 game? That's right, good old Treyarch, who were using their built engine from, I think, COD 3. That was the last one they developed at the time. So they were like, okay, bet we'll do that. While working on World at War, and also working on, I think they were working on Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions with Sharper Games. So, yeah, that year they were pretty F. So, and Quantum of Solace released, and despite the film not being that great, apparently, the game's got good reviews. I don't know how well it sold, but since it was Treyarch, they were probably good. Can't say the same about Sharper. So in 2009, Bond games took a bit of a break, and people were like, oh shoot, what do we do now? But Activision was like, don't worry, in 2000... Wait, hold on. In 2010, there were two games. Goldeneye 007 for the Wii, which was just a remake of this game. Then 007 Bloodstone, which was yeah, it flopped, and a bunch of people weren't huge on it, taking place between, and it flopped. So you know what that means? Since it was Activision, who else but Activision laying off employees because they overbloated their budget? Yeah, as you can tell, we aren't fans of Activision here. But anyway, in 2012, they're like, oh shit, it's turning. Oh, wait a minute. Who should we call up? Eurocom, who developed Nightfire. But guess what happened? It bombed. So Eurocom got slaughtered by Activision. And for the first time in a while, Bond games kind of dropped off the face of the planet. People were reminiscing, and nothing much happened until around 2021 or so, where people were like, oi, we need... Until 2023, where Goldeneye was released on the Xbox Game Pass. I think the Switch Online as well, like, it was definitely one of those, but point is, they were like, sure, you do it. So, this released, and IO Interactive, the people who are known for the Hitman series, decided, let's make our own games in So earlier this year they released 007 First Light, which was the newest game, and I've never played it, but it looks pretty fun. So yeah, I thought I would do more of like a history. Oh, a few of the other cancelled games was a cancelled Xbox Live port. Well, as you can see, cancelled games. Yeah, there was going to be a Virtual Boy one. Yes. Oh, Tomorrow Never Dies was going to get a sequel, but yeah, The World Was Not Enough was going to get a PS2 and PC port. There was a 007 racing sequel for this. We talked about this Casino Royale. Oh, never mind, it was 15. Bloodstone sequel, but that didn't work. I think Lego James Bond I could see working, but they would have had to tone it down instead of it being like, because I think it's a whole meme at this point. No! Oh, come on, come on. You wuss! So, yeah, after this. So now Bond games are in a pretty good spot. Each game now has fans. It depends. And everyone is officially done. So yeah, I'm glad this is a return to YouTube because I was gone for a month and in that time I had, let's say, time to reflect, but we don't want it to get edgy over here, but we've been trying to get rid of that. Point is, I'm about to take some time off, and now I'm back. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. This was a bit less like unknown and more matter of fact, but I just thought it'd be interesting. So, see you then. P.S. I'm hoping to randomize the gaming and story videos, so you may see multiple story videos. So, bye.